Hello, 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 hello. Right. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night to everyone. If you don't know, my name is Thomas Parkinson. I am the founder of Fast Track FBA, but also as well an Amazon seller. I've been selling on Amazon now for about 4 years, and as a company, we pretty much do in the UK. We've done over 1 million in the last 12 months, and then also as well, as you could just actually smashing it, we just hit 200,000 in the last month as well. So do honestly really, really growing up and up and up. Also as well started in the USA, and hence why I'm kind of doing these lives to kind of share my journey, but ask any questions that people have got. It's really helped me out. But if you guys are here, obviously drop me a message down below. But the idea is really about just us driving forward, pushing the US forward. We've now grown that. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about like what's happened in my USA business, what's going on, and also as well like what things are working, what's not, what we've done. Hey, maybe if you can learn from it as well. So it's always really interesting. I'm just doing up my sleeves at the moment. One of those most important things you've got to do in the morning. But if you are here, do drop a hello down below. I'm just going to drop I'm just going to check on my phone to make sure we're live. We're only live on the YouTube today, not on the but not on the Facebook group, just for the fact that we've got a problem with accessing the Facebook group through my Facebook. Facebook says no. So honestly, really, really good. If you've got questions, obviously, about selling on Amazon, anything else, do let me know. Obviously, that would be really good. If I just check, yeah, I can see that I am live. Voila, fantastic. And hey, we've got George in there. Hey, George, good to see you. Any questions, George? Do let me know down in the comments, like where you're from, how's your Amazon journey going, what's happening at the moment. What kind of things maybe you're struggling with? What can I help you with? Let me know about that. I'll see if I can help you out. But if I'll just kind of give you an update on what's going on my side. This week, I'm really, really happy. We're going to be announcing the internal promotion of a purchasing manager into my business for the USA. Why? Because quite simply, I just realized that I'm really bad at purchasing. Not so much the purchasing process, I can do it, but I'm just really bad. I get really bored. And it's like, because it's just a process. So we have three sources. We've got one admin VA, and now we're going to have a purchasing manager. So I'm really happy with that. I won't lie. The revenue we're doing versus the labor costs I've got are just, they're really high. So we're not doing the revenue and the profit to cover the labor costs. But what we do know is that we've got the money, and I don't have the time to purchase the deals to grow the revenue. So getting someone else in has got to do it. Just coming back, I'll come back to that in a second. Hey George, checking in from Canada. How's life in Canada? How's Amazon in Canada at the moment? I'm really interested to hear about that. Obviously, are you selling in Canada? Are you selling in the US? What's the marketplace you're doing? If you're selling in Canada, I'm really interested to hear. Obviously, I sell in the USA and the UK. US are generally seeing better margins, obviously higher volumes, but the one thing we do see is because of the physical size of the country, just shipping times, from supplier to our warehouse, that takes a while. And then from our warehouse into Amazon takes a while. If I were to put it in perspective, in the UK, from the moment I spend like $1 getting it into the warehouse and then out live on Amazon, is taking me about 10 days. That's it. Full turnaround time, spend $1, get it live on Amazon 10 days. In the US, you're probably looking at maybe like double that. It just takes time. Admittedly, we're not as efficient as we can be right now. So I'm very interested just to hear how's Canada. Let me know how Canada is getting on. If any of you guys are here, do just drop a hi down below. Let me know where you're calling from, maybe where your Amazon journey is at the moment in USA or UK or Canada, as George is. If you want to know right now, I'm at home. I'm in Mexico City. I'll see if I can turn you around. You can see out there. Yeah, there you go. Outside of Mexico City, I get to see the beautiful parts of Mexico City. Very, very nice view. I really love working here at the moment. It's really nice, just for the fact that it's such a beautiful view. And also as well, if you don't know, I run my businesses remotely, always online, because what I'm looking for is, for me, Amazon is, yes, it's about making money. Yes, it's about growing a business, but it's also about freedom. I really value that freedom. That's one of my whys. I want the ability to travel. So for me, personally, buying a warehouse is just a big no-no, because it means I'm stuck there. Even if you're going to make more money, I get that, but I'm not interested in making lots of money now with a warehouse and then And then should we say, 5, 10 years time, then you can go travel. I'm like, no, I want to do it now. That's my thing. I wouldn't wait 5 years. I'd just get really disenchanted with the business. So very much Amazon, the lifestyle business, to a certain extent facilitating great lifestyle freedoms. But we still do 1 million in the UK, which is like 1.4 million US. And that's a team of 7. But that's it's a purchasing manager who runs the whole business, a purchasing assistant, 4 sources, and an admin assistant. We are looking at now extending that. So very recently, we've looked at turning it from possibly looking at maybe getting another purchasing assistant to free up time for my purchasing manager. Also, number 2, we're in the process of hiring another purchasing admin. Admin VA to help manage the sourcing, sourcing VA to help manage sourcing, and then also another admin VA, because we're doing I think like 9,000 units a month. It's not huge in the grand scheme of if you're running a warehouse, but it does add up as costs, and that has a cost on my administrative VA. So obviously supporting her in she needs more help, so we'll get someone else in to support that. And the other side of it as well, if you want to know, is that we do, as Fast Track FBA, we provide a service whereby we train, we find, hire and train and support a sourcing VA in your business for 12 weeks. It's a one-off fee that you pay us, and they're yours forever. It's not like a monthly recurring fee. We've done over 200 VAs in the last year and a half. It's a really good service, really, really good. And we put a lot of time and effort into it, and they get contact with 15 of my Fast Track FBA VA Academy trainers and sources. But also as well, we are looking at potentially offering that into the admin side. So that's going to be something which is really interesting. But right now, we just need to get it right. So the US and the UK. So admin VAs, getting that right. That's very, very important. So that's what's going on. But hey, guys, let me know, obviously, if you're here, where you're from. Just drop a big hello down below. And hey, drop any questions you've got, anything you can do let me know. I'm just going to drop an actual link quickly into our Fast Track FBA Facebook group, which is for the YouTube live here. And the reason is there's just been a problem with our how do you call it? Our connection to Facebook from the live that has caused a problem. So I just want to make sure if anyone is in the Facebook, maybe wanting to connect in, then they can obviously still connect as well. Just give me 2 seconds. Obviously, having some coffee as well. If you want, my alarm is going off. Turn that off. If you want to join today, if you want to watch on YouTube, there on YouTube only. So I'm just putting that on now. So if anyone wants to watch that live now. Cool, fantastic. Right, just posting that. Fine, just realised that that wasn't actually live. So fantastic. So we've got here, who else we got? Oh, my sound is full of clicks and pops. Let me just check. Hello, 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 hello. Mike, I'll tell you what I might do. I might change it to hello, 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 hello. Let's try that one. That's fine. Tony, thanks for giving me a heads up. Your sound is full of clicks and pops. Just check that now. Is that better? Let me know. Normally I do a sound check, and I checked it this morning. It seemed fine, but I don't know if something's happened. I've just changed over to my microphone on the camera. If there's any questions, Tony, let me know. Just let me know if that's sounding better in the comments down below. We've got here, greetings, joining from Pakistan. Fantastic. Obviously, great to have you here. And obviously, George is checking in from Canada. So fantastic. Any questions, guys? Let me know where you're calling from. So we've got Pakistan, Canada. Tony, where are you calling from? How's your business getting on? Anything that I can help you with? Right now, for our business, we're just, we've managed to really just get our stock turning. So people talk about the restock limits, but we're pretty much fine. I don't think there's an issue with our restock limits at all. I think we've got like 12,000 units we're able to bring in, and we're turning quick enough that we're probably using like 7,000 at any one time. That is really, really useful. Tony's come back and said much, much better. Yeah, fantastic, Tony. Tony, if there's anything, thank you so much for that. Obviously, really, really good. If there's anything I can help you with your business, what's going on, let me know. A big part of like me and this week, what I've done in my USA business is I just realized I'm really bad, like really, really bad. Like it's time. I don't have the time. So I'm promoting someone into a purchasing manager role for my USA business to help me outsource that. And the short reason is I have the money. The UK is making really good money right now, and we can just throw that into the US. Not so that we don't want to reinvest in the UK, we do. But still, like my team last week spent £44,000. That's like 60,000 US. Don't quote me on that exactly, rough guess. In 1 week, that is, by the way. So really happy with that £44,000. That's a new record for us. We've never done that before. And when my purchasing manager first started, I remembered that he didn't even do that much revenue in 1 month. Now he's purchased more than that in 1 week. And the idea is to take some of that and just invest it in labor costs, or labor as in VAs in the USA, just to do the processes, because like I'm really, really bad. If you've got a question here, where should a VA start? Obviously look at Fast Track FBA VA Academy, go online, you'll see you can apply, but also check out our free course on the website, and also as well, go on my YouTube channel. I'm not just promoting me, there's lots you can do on YouTube, there's a lot you can learn. And even if you're not successful with us, have a look at like Fiverr, you can offer that. There's going to be a lot of people who are looking for VAs. We obviously know that. So we got here, Tony's mentioned he's still stuck in the UK, but Freedom Day's been in the UK, Tony. I know people have talked about that, and obviously I see lots of pictures of people out and about, but also it's like pingdom or something. You're getting pings all the time from like an NHS Act. So that's something really interesting. But I will, let me know how you're getting on in your Amazon business. Like what's going well? Is there anything I can help you with? Like I do these lives just to support you guys, really. So I'm happy to share about what I'm doing. But if I can help you, let me know in the comments down below. So what have we got a hit question here? So Livio, is that right? I don't know if I pronounced that. Mendes, that's right. So when you register a business for HMRC, do you have a London office plus registered office plus director's address included and pay for that? So when you register a business at HMRC, that's obviously you're just registering. So you can register it from, obviously you need an address for that. But you can pay for what's known as like virtual office addresses. If you just Google them, you'll find that. So for virtual office addresses, you can use them for HMRC, very normal. And it can be a London address, it can be like a Manchester address, it can be any address in the whole UK. Plus, that will give you, it doesn't need to be London, it can be anywhere. So it'll give you a registered address, and obviously that'll be your director's address as well. And that's included in that. So when you talk about director's address, you might be thinking about a residential address. So you just need to be careful. Like obviously your director's address can be outside the country, that's fine. But obviously you will be able to accept mail from your, they send me Thomas at my virtual office, they'll send that in to my registered address, and I'll still collect personal mail there if they still want to send it. Interesting enough, I have Santander, and the interesting thing is that Santander, if they give you in the UK, if they link their personal and business accounts together, so if your business is registered at your registered address, i.e. virtual address, then it means your now personal address is registered there as well. So I have a little bit of a hack whereby I can say, hey, this is my personal address as well, when it's not really. But the mail goes to the right place and they scan it, so it doesn't really matter. So you want to, here we go, if you want to, do you do wholesale or private? I do arbitrage. Online arbitrage, which is 1 billion in the UK. Also, last month we did £200,000, about 2.4 million across the year. So £200,000 last month in sales on online arbitrage, and no wholesale, no problem. We are looking at doing wholesale in probably the next couple of months, just because we've got more money that we can spend, and spending like 70,000 a week on online arbitrage is really challenging, especially when one of the biggest suppliers in the UK, I'm not going to name names, they right now don't let us purchase, and we're trying to get around it. So we've just got to figure that out. So no wholesale, no private label, just a thing. But I do speak to a lot of wholesalers in the US who are obviously doing massive numbers. Amazon Lit, for example, 50 million. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. Tony, come back 1 second. I'm still fact-finding my business plan, enjoying the YouTube content. Totally fantastic. I'm glad I can really add value. A couple of top things I'll share for you. JFDI, just do it. And the reason why I say that is for the fact that I've met a lot of sellers who have
spend a lot of time watching, doing, preparing, and don't take action. And that's the biggest thing. It's about taking action in this game. It's not about doing all the preparation. And Tony, obviously, I don't know your full situation, so please excuse me if you are taking action as fast as you can. But a lot of people I've met that are a bit worried about this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go research for a month on it and come back and be like, okay, I now think I know the answer, but I'm going to try. And they'll just take a very long time. But honestly, as long as you're not trying to sell fake or secondhand goods as new goods, as long as you're not, as long as you've got you're buying from, if you're buying OA, you're buying from reputable OA sources like Asda, Walmart, for example. You're not buying from Tom's little corner shop, which gives you the worst receipt in the world. So if people come up to you and say, or Amazon come up to you and say, hey, we're not sure if this is a legit product, then what's going to happen is that you can show the receipt and say, yeah, it's not a fake product. That's really the biggest worry. So if I just talk to a lot of people, kind of make those oh wow, the ROI on eBay goods is really good, or the ROI on selling these Facebook marketplace purchases is new, is really good. Yeah, but you're probably going to lose your account. Pardon me. So the top tip I'd just really share is do not don't what's it called? Don't worry too much. You're going to be fine. And also there's a growth support network around Amazon, and just get going. You are going to make mistakes. In fact, you're going to make a mistake. Right now, I've been running my USA business. We've got 4 VAs, and we're going to have 5 this week. And are we making money? No, not at all. But I'm really happy with that. Why? Because I don't have the time to do it, but I can hire the right people. So my sources are now generating enough deals. They're getting did automatically in the USA, which is fantastic. My admin system's really training up, so that's great. She knows what she's doing. The process is there. Is now just the final process of purchasing. Once that's happened, I'll then throw fuel on the fire, i.e. money, and we'll then start to turn the revenue and generate the profits. But I know that long-term wise, I have to take action. If I try and make it slow and try and keep it profitable all the times, it will just take years. And I don't have years to do it. I have money and time that I can cash roll it for a few months. It's not a big cost. So I know I'm in a bit different situation, but just get going. Don't worry too much about preparing. JFDI, take massive action. That's a really important one. Cool. So just coming here, right. So okay, perfect. Thank you. I live in the UK. I just don't want my online address. What website is your address? There are, I don't know if there's thousands, but there are hundreds of virtual addresses. Just go online, type virtual office address. Top thing, you do not need to have it in London. Do not think that. It can be Manchester. It can be, my God, if you've got accountants, they can be your office address. It's absolutely fine. If you have accountancy services, they will be your office address. So you don't have to use a virtual address. It's not cheap. I'm paying £250 a year for it. Plus, if I have to get in large parcels delivered, they charge me an extortionate rate. And it's even annoying because I have a virtual office address in the US, my US entity, which then ships to my UK virtual office address and then ships to basically my dad's house. So sometimes I have parcels arrive in the UK from the US. I'm like, oh my God, that's going to cost me. But just go online, Google virtual office address. Don't have to be online. Also speak to your accountant. If you haven't got an accountant now, I'd speak to them and just ask them, do they have one? Because the cost you're going to pay on virtual office address is probably going to be something like 3 or 4 months of accountancy fees. So you might say that it's not even worth doing virtual office address. It really doesn't matter. You can just put your accountant in there. So, quick question. But I hope that helps out and just supports you there. So, what have we got here? Isn't wholesale a scalable version of arbitrage? Agreed. Absolutely agree. Wholesale is a definite scalable version of arbitrage. Long story short is, I'm going to give you a bit of a strategy that we're looking at in the UK where we're going now. So 2 things. You are very much right. Wholesale is a more scalable version of arbitrage. Completely agree. But 2 things. Number 1 is the fact that generally speaking, the margins are better on online arbitrage. Why? Because if you're going to buy from Asda or Walmart, for example, they buy direct from the manufacturers such volumes that even your wholesalers can't compete against that when they come to resell, whereas Walmart will. So think about Lego Walmart's buys. It's insane. then so number one, margin's better, and then number two is I'm a big believer in if something's working, keep doing that. Don't stop. Just keep doing it. And when I was doing 500,000 in the UK, I was looking like, what's the ceiling on the UK? Maybe it's $1 million. That's about what you can do on arbitrage. Then you need to move over to wholesale. But like right now, we've just broken 1 million over the last 12 months. And if you look at it on a monthly basis, we've just broken 200,000 in the last 30 days. So, my team is still like, and last week was the highest amount they've ever spent. So £44,000 in 1 week. So the question I'm kind of asking is wholesale is definitely a route we want to go down, but before we push the wholesale route, let's maximize the most out of arbitrage. To the point that my team are like, we just can't find any more deals. We've done everything. We're like everywhere because it works, and for us it's working. So let's just continue doing that process. But long-term wise, one of the strategic things we are doing is we are moving into, or going to be moving into wholesale. But the one kind of caveat we will do is we're going to be trying to work with wholesalers who can offer us credit terms. Now, what we appreciate is that they're not going to offer us credit terms straight away. We are looking for that in the long term. Why? Because if you can do $1 million a year, let's call it 100,000. So we did 100,000. I think last month we did 200,000, and we did 9,000 units. So if we could do, let's call it 100,000, and we're doing 4,500 units. So if I can do 100,000 in revenue, 4,500 units, all at the same time, $1, £1 profit, net profit, not growth, after everything, the fees, capacity fees, the lots are making $1. That's £4,500 a month. Now, it doesn't sound very much on 100,000 revenue, it's only like 4.5% net margin. But the idea is if I can do that with zero of my cash, well, that's just free money. Because if I'm putting all my cash into wholesale arbitrage, then I can make potentially another 5,000 a month with no money down, no nothing. Now, while the ROI on individual items for how much we spent on it is, maybe net margin would be like 5%. You're like, Tom, you're crazy. Why are you doing it? But the concept is like, well, actually, it was never my money in the first place. So the ROI on the profit I'm making on the money that was never mine would have technically been infinite. And if I can continue to do volume at that, well, hopefully they'll scale the credit lines. And obviously what we can do is just make sure we're managing correctly, grow the revenue. Even if we're taking £1, $1 per item, net, 5% net margin, you're still making money. And at the end of the day, it's about trying to do this game in different ways. There's 1,000 ways. Just like an apple. Oh my God, my throat's going. Pardon me. About 1,000 ways to slice an apple. And what we're just seeing right now is online arbitrage is doing great. Keep doing that. But do look for wholesalers. But look for wholesalers who can give us credit, because we can then obviously use that to grow. So that's my thoughts. I hope that's helpful. Scalable version of our thing. So come back here. Tony has come back and said, you nailed me right there. Hey, fantastic. Accountability, Tony. Maybe come to like these calls every week. How are you getting on? Like what's going on in your business? What have you done? Like, what am I going to agree to? If you want to know, one of the things that I really did probably like 4 years ago when I used to work in the co-working space, I met with other business owners. We had one who was doing Amazon KDP, one was doing affiliate marketing websites or MemberPress websites, membership, and then me, Amazon seller. And we used to do a mastermind. And every week we'd sit down and write what we're going to do, agree to next week, and what are we going to get done. And that was so powerful. It helped me. And I still, even to this day, do it today. So one person from that mastermind I still talk to now, he's currently in Africa right now. He had to go home. He's from Nigeria. He's normally like focused around Europe somewhere, doing the digital nomad lifestyle. But I talk to him a lot. He's very good at marketing. And then also as well, because I'm now in Mexico City, I've also created joined a mastermind in Mexico City where it's about people who want to grow their businesses. And that's a local WeWork I go to. Why? Because it's accountability. Why? Because also I understand that even while you might look at me and think I'm doing really well, I can do so much more. And having accountability and being challenged is so important. So just setting down, here's what I'm going to do this week, and having the accountability to get it done. And also as well, on a Monday, I look at my list and go, right, Thursday, what have I got to get done? And then I'm like, oh my God, I've got to work hard to get it done. So very, very important there. Right, let's just kind of move on. So we've got here, Yasta has said, what about Mercury Bank? It's a good bank, definitely. I use it in the US, I really like it. The only thing is it's not a credit card, so you don't get cash back. And also, if anyone uses it fraudulently, there is no what do you call it, protection. So it's good, I like it. But I think for you is, you really want to, if you're doing a arbitrage, you really want to get into the credit card. Why? Because you are going to get fraudulent transactions. You are going to get problems with suppliers that you want to give back to your bank account. So your credit card supplier, that's the important thing. Your card details will get stolen and you will lose money, and a credit card will protect you from that. So, and also, like, you're not making cash back. That's one of the biggest advantages. Like, I spent £44,000 last week alone in the UK. I couldn't tell you the points on that. Like, that's just crazy. Like, absolutely crazy. We have on our Capital on Tap, we have a £32,000 limit, and we maxed that out like 1 and a bit times in 1 week. So you get the cashback points for like a couple of maybe like nice hotel breaks with me, or like airline upgrades. That's going to be really good. And this is about you're taking the extras in your business. That's going to be really important. So Janine, I think that's right. I think, hey, good to see you here. Where you're calling from, let me know if there's anything I can help you with. But that's pretty much all the questions so far. Guys, if you've got any more questions, drop it down below. If there is anything anything you want to know, let me know. But I think we've got a question that popped up. Hey, so we're a new Amazon seller. My problem is I cannot proceed to my shipping plan because I always exceed on cubic feet storage capacity. Any ideas? Well, all interesting. So your storage limits are 2 parts. Number one, storage capacity, which is in cubic feet, and then the other one, which is your restock limits. Storage capacity is in cubic feet, is all to do with your IPI score. If your IPI score is not high enough, and it needs to be over, I think it's 500, you are going to get limitations on your cubic feet capacity. Now, you might have a problem. So a couple of things, you mentioned you're a new seller. So a couple of things you might just think about is you really want to work on that IPI score. So really go into your IPI, so Seller Central, inventory planning, and then you can see the IPI score top left. Click on that, you can go into more detail. It'll tell you like where the areas you need to improve are. So sell-through rate, restock rate, out-of-stock SKUs. Generally speaking, go through them all, read what they say, and I'll give you action points. So like, what's it called? It's like sell-through rate. That's just make sure your stock's selling enough. You're not holding too much in Amazon. I don't know what the other ones are. I can't do it off the top of my head. They all kind of tell you, like, also as well as delete old SKUs if they're not going to be used again, get them out of inventory. SKUs which you're not, replenishing, go into them. You can turn off replenishments. What's the other things? You really just want to make sure you're managing your stock well. Why? Because if you're below that 500, Amazon will put in storage limit capacities, i.e. cubic feet storage capacities for you, and you're going to get what you're getting. So right now, there's nothing you can do right now, but because you're a new seller, but you need to work on that IPI score. If you can get that IPI back up again, you're going to get it. And the way it works, if you want to know, probably about, I think it's 8 weeks before the next quarter, or 6 weeks before the next quarter, you're going to get an email to say, Amazon's telling you your IPI score is X. If this continues, you will either have unlimited storage capacity or you'll have limited storage capacity for the next quarter. But then you get an opportunity, so they'll continue to monitor until the week before. You've got to get your IPI up before the 1 week before the new quarter, I think it is. They say on the email. And if your IPI is up where it needs to be, then the whole of the next quarter, you're going to be completely unlimited. So, if you get that IPI up, get that inventory, that IPI score up, because that's going to give you unlimited inventory. Now, the one thing I kind of add to that is if you are, let's say another good example you might get here, and generally your IPI should always be up. Never let it get down. It's a really important metric because in the day we're using FBA and you need storage facilities. The other one that you're going to be looking at is if you're not a new seller, it won't work. But if you're an existing seller and you're doing something like private label, you're trying to ship products over from, China into Amazon warehouses, and you've got a 3-month lead time. What they do is they eat up your restock limits and your inventory capacity from the moment you create the shipment. So it's like, I've got to sit there and wait for 3 months for a product to come in, and I don't have that capacity in my warehouse storage space, which is a nightmare. So a top couple of things you can do, or you can if you want. I've not done it myself, but I know a lot of people who have. I don't really do private labels. I'm just talking about what I've seen and what I've heard and the way it works. You have to contact Seller Central and explain the situation. You've also got to have a high volume of sales for the previous months, and then obviously what they'll do is they can increase your restock limits, but you should do API stores. And really, what they're looking at is like, is this person going to, are we going to give this person more space in our warehouses? But if they are, they're going to want to know, do you know how to manage it? Are you doing a good job? And are you going to sell those products? Because the short answer is that if you're just going to ship some stock into Amazon, it's not going to get sold. They're not interested in giving you extra storage space, which isn't going to sell. So you need to be able to prove to them why they should increase their limits to do that. But I've never heard of it. I've heard of it happening on the restock limits, but I've never heard it happening on the IPI limits, or storage capacity, or should I say the cubic feet storage capacity. Why? Because Amazon are really looking at to say that you need to be managing that IPI score well. Because if you haven't improved the IPI score, what's generally going to happen is they're just going to go, no, we're not going to give you any increased cubic capacity fee because you are not able to manage what you've already got. So it's a pain. I can't give you a short answer. The long answer is get your IPI back up. That's the answer, and keep it up. That's a really, really important one. I think we're going to release a video, or if we haven't, check out our channel. There's a lot of IPI on Amazon, even on our channel, about how to improve it. But I hope that answers your question and helps you out. Sorry for not here's exactly what you need to do, but it's a long-term solution. And remember, it might be annoying today, but this is Amazon's a long-term game. You're not going to get it perfect. You're going to make mistakes, and it's about improving and a consistent business which really works. So what I will say, guys, is if you have just joined, let me know where you're calling from. And hey, if you've got any questions, drop them down below. Obviously, I'm here to, I do these just to help you. It's really nice to be part of the conversation and share. Like, oh my God, I do it in my business, I talk. I love doing live. It's quite a nice thing. It's also very easy and convenient in 1 hour. If you've got questions, let me know down below. I'll give you an update on like my Amazon business, what we're doing, and go from there. So obviously, I appreciate we've got a couple of people. So Outlander Dude, I'm a VA by profession, but not from the Philippines. Why don't you recommend VA other than Philippines? Okay, so from us in the Fast Track FBA Academy, it's not so much we don't recommend them. We do hire from the Philippines predominantly, just for the fact that we find great talent there, and that's what works for us. A lot of people who I know, and I've even met people in Mexico, they hire VAs from Pakistan, India, Mexico as well, all over the world. They're great people. I think what you've got to think about from our perspective, or what I'd just share with you, is we are always looking for consistency. We're looking to try and make it as easy as possible. And what we find is that, and I'm not saying yourself as an individual, but what we found is that when we hire from the Philippines, we get a very consistent type of VA. And that's what we're after, because obviously we offer that to our clients. So for us, internally, we pretty much only hire from the Philippines. We found great value from it, but we do obviously speak to other clients, and you can go and apply the Upwork. You'll find some very, very good VAs, Amazon people with skill set who are not in the Philippines, who are like in Pakistan, India, again, Mexico. Like I said, they're all over the world. But just for us, we want to make it simple. I'm a big believer in KISS, keep it simple, and that's for us, we keep that process simple. So pretty much we hire predominantly only from the Philippines. But hey, I hope that answers your question. And hey, look at Fiverr, look at Upwork. Even if you are from the Philippines, there's a good opportunity for finding clients there. So if you guys have got any more questions, do drop them down below. I think that's pretty much the questions that have come up so far. I'm just kind of going through my notes and kind of looking there. So if there's anything else that I can help you guys out, if you just joined, let me know where you're joining from. Let me know down below. If you don't know about us, we're doing now, I'll just drop it in the UK. We've just done over 7 figures in the UK in the last 12 months, which is fantastic. And the USA, still not smashing it at all. But I'm hoping with the promotion of a new purchasing manager this week, we're really going to start smashing it, or get the spend up. And then it takes a couple of weeks, and if not a month, before the spend or the revenue will really start coming in. But I'm feeling really confident about that. In my USA business, probably by the end of this week, I'll have 1 purchasing manager, 3 sourcing VAs, 1 admin VA, and that's going to really help me scale up my business. And just grow. Why? And I'll share it with you. Whether you don't need a whole team. The reason why I have a whole team is because I've got multiple businesses: Fast Track FBA, Amazon UK, obviously Amazon USA. I just don't have the time. I really don't. And we're trying to really progress all of them. So my time is spent on developing, thinking, improving, not doing the purchasing. But if you are selling on Amazon now and you're like, okay, what do I do? Top tip for you guys: spend all the money. Like, if you have money in the bank account that isn't being spent, the thing I said, and we do it in my business, is that if you've got, let's call it like $1,000 US in the bank, or like $2,000 US in the bank, it's always just sitting there. If that money is sitting there every single week, and you could be spending it on stock, but you're not, because you're like, oh, I'm waiting for the better products, the better ROI. You're like, well, actually, by the time you spent that 2,000, you could have spent it, got it into stock, got it turned, and back out again, because that great stock didn't show up. Now, and the reason why I say this is because in my business, we use prep centers, we use teams. We can just spend money, we can do it, and we're not so worried. I recently went to the US and I spoke to a couple of people who are doing retail arbitrage in the US, or online arbitrage, and I go, would you buy something for $3 profit? Would you do that? They're like, no. Well, they would, but they wouldn't do anything less than $3 profit. And what's really interesting is we looked at it and said, hey, actually, the reason why you're not doing that is because you have to do the prep, you have to do everything. And as a result, you're a barrier to your business because you've got this $2,000 US sat in your bank account, which could be invested in stock, but you're not willing to invest it because you don't want to do the work for it. So I'm not saying that you're prepping that's a bad thing, no, not at all, but I'm just a big believer in that, there's, generally speaking, in the Amazon business, it's all either time or money is a problem. And if you've got the time, you should be spending the money every single week, because that's going to help turn revenue. It's going to help turn profits, even at like 10% ROI. 10% ROI is $2,000, not much, but it's just going to be more profit you're making, which is going to help you out. So really think about that one. And also as well, my God, the more revenue you get, the more reviews you get, the more experience you get, the more loyalty you get with Amazon, and they'll ungate you. Right now we've only done in the US, I don't know, 8,000, 9,000 US, and maybe pushing 10,000 in my whole journey. And we've been ungated on toys and games. We've been ungated in health and tropicals. We've been ungated in DIY. We've been ungated in sports and outdoor. No wholesaler invoices. No nothing. I don't know the exact reason, but it's only we've done a decent volume in sales, maybe 10,000 US. But that we did that at 7,000 US, by the way. So I didn't have to go and invest a couple of $100 in some stock that I'm not going to make money on, just volume. And as a result, we're getting automatically engaged in a lot of products. So just be mindful of that. It has its power. And also as well, if you are buying in bulk and if you're doing wholesale, for example, obviously you can negotiate great discounts. So that kind of means on here, Outlander Dudes come back, US or UK for new wholesale business. UK, we will do it in the US. My God, I'm meeting people who are doing net margins, 15% wholesale in the US on over $1 million a year. I'm like, damn, that's really good. Really good. You're beating my margins on OA in the UK. Admittedly, it's one person on their own working out of the house, so they don't have the costs that I do. But I do think, I think there's opportunity. And why did we start in the US? Because we learned how to do OA in the UK, and we're doing it again in the US. Whether you're doing wholesale in the UK or US, it's just the same process. Build relationships, negotiate discounts, and buy, resell, and work within the framework of Amazon Marketplace. That's it. So UK initially, just because we got the revenue, we've got the team, and we can do that, and then we'll move into the US as well. I think experience, fantastic. Hey, that answers your question. Felix has come back. Hi, Thomas, watching the Philippines. Try to visit Thomas' video. You've learned a lot. Okay, cool. Not too sure what you mean there. But hey, cool. I'll try to visit my videos, my YouTube channel. Yeah, great. Awesome. I can help you. If there's anything else, drop in the comments down below. Let me know. What have we got here? So how much pounds or how much money to start on wholesale? Hard question. Really, really hard question. I'm going to say 2,000 minimum, but I just don't think so. I think like if you got 2,000, I'm going to do an OA or something, just because like, look, you see it out there. You see people talking about it all the time, like, hey man, I'm doing wholesale, or like, I just started wholesale. I found this great product. It's doing like 100% ROI. Yeah, I get that. And hey, you know, no one's going to post on Facebook or on Instagram, hey man, just started wholesale and I found a 10% ROI product. It's like, no, not at all. And my God, even if they have found a product which is 100% ROI, it might be selling like 10 units a month and it might be a £1 item. Like, that's £10 a month. That's like nothing. So I'm not saying it is nothing, but like you got to think of it in the grand scheme of things. Generally speaking, the general rule of thumb is that wholesale will give you lower margins than OA, RA will give you better margins than OA, and private label will give you better margins, but there is a lot more lead time to it, for example. Also, there's a lot more initial upfront cost, etc. And also, there's more risk diversification with wholesale. So while I say 2,000, I'd probably say like you probably want to do 4,000 or 5,000, because you are going to make mistakes. You're going to buy bad products. This is going to happen. And also, like, you know, you can get wholesalers that will do £250 minimum order value. That's fine. But I think to you know, really just try and like, it's about having cash. And even people where like wholesale's a money business. If you can find one good wholesaler that you like and you keep investing like 2,000 or 4,000 a month on it, they'll probably start giving you credit terms pretty quick, and that's just going to add on to your cash. So wholesale's a volume game. It is volume, but it does work. You know, a lot of very successful wholesalers. Amazon Live, for example. Watch Me Amazon. Larry DeBolsi, very, very successful. But generally, the way you make wholesale work is you own a warehouse, you have that, and you can do items that are going to help. Like, I don't know the short answer. If you know, when I speak to wholesalers, I ask them what's the average order value, and they're talking about $10. That's it. My average order value is like $23, so much higher. Why? Because we have a prep center. I've got to factor that cost in, so it does have an impact. So less volume, more high value, and as a result, you're now doing. You can make it work, but wholesale is a lot more. A lot of people do low volume wholesale, but it's all right. There's no one way or the other. It's up to you. I hope that helps. What LA sites do you use to scan data? Okay, so if you have a look, if you're doing UK, go onto my YouTube channel. There is a top 100 online or top 100 supplier site for the UK, and we did one. We did one also as well for the USA. So we've got the two lists, the top 100, and you can download them. They're free lists, and you can see that's the top side. So it's changing all the time. I say changing, they cannot do that. Like number 1, it might be number like 6 in a month's time or something, but it does change. Do look at that video, because that's going to give it to you. Long story short, I just don't use things like tactical arbitrage. I don't use scanning software. Why? Because if you can find it on software, everyone else can find it, and you'll probably find you have a lot more competition. And as a result, it's just, you're like, no, this isn't going to work. So in our game, it's not just about finding great deals that make profit. It's about finding great deals that make profit that other people don't find, because that means they last. You know, we've all seen it. Wow, this deal's doing like $10 profit for £10. It's doing 70% ROI. Really, really happy. Once you bought into it, the price has now crashed down to like $1.50 profit and 10% ROI. Why? Because the number of sellers has gone from like 3 to 63. You're like, wow, it just doesn't support. And that's because a lot of sourcing software is doing this. So just be very, very mindful of that. Like, this is as much about finding great deals as about exclusivity for great deals. I think my wholesale is pretty cool. But just be mindful that in the OA game, if you can buy it, anyone else can. But if you buy it from sourcing software, anyone else can as well. Let me know your questions down below. I've got another like 10 minutes. Let me know in the comments below any more questions you've got. I appreciate it. I had a good session today. Quite a few questions come in. Really value that. If there's anything like, you know, struggling with UK, USA, maybe like wholesale, maybe like online arbitrage, ask me. I'm more than happy to help you out. I don't really do private labels. I can't help you with private label, but also I'm really happy to help you out. I'm going to get like hiccups halfway through this. Let me just have some more coffee. But yeah, if you just joined, let me know. Maybe if you just started on Amazon, let me know your journey, how you're getting on so far. Like, you know, if there's any tips I can help you out with, I'm more than happy to do that. Let me know in the comments down below. Oh, that's lovely. I do love coffee. I think coffee is an essential part of any business owner's diet. Yeah, really good. So, yeah, so if you've got questions, let me know down below. But I think, for like my business model, even if you're, let's have a quick look here. So someone, Outlander Dude, just popped in. So client told me he invested in a very less profitable product with $1,000, which earns. Do you think this kind of deal helps? So $1,000 product, which earns $300 to $400 a month. Do you think that kind of helps? It's your client's business. They can do whatever they like. It's their money. At the end of the day, what we're here to achieve: money, revenue, profit. There's a really interesting friend of mine, Mr. Luke Dugan. I spoke to him last week, actually. He runs a very good replenishable model. And if I put it in perspective, and it actually he does worse margins than what you're talking about there. So he talks about a worse ROI. He talks about when he buys a product, he's looking to achieve about 20% ROI. What does that mean? That means he'll spend $1,000 and he's looking to earn $200 from it. And also as well, he's going to actually bring the price down to make sure that it doesn't make 25% ROI, so $250. He wants to make 200. Why? Because what he realizes, number one, when he gets a lower margin, he'll get higher volume. But number two, so he's going to get more sales, and he's got the cash. And then number two is the fact that, what's he doing? He's trying to make it so that other people won't buy the deal. So that he's trying to artificially keep the profit low, because he understands that if he does that, no one else is going to jump on the listing. But if the profit were to drop up to come up to, like, say, 30%, for example, and he's running 20, then the net result is that he's going to get a lot more competition, and actually his volume of sales are going to decrease. So his actual cash profit is going to decrease because he'll get more profit per item, but he's just doing a lot less volume. So the same in your client here, $1,000 earning $300 to $400, per month. My God, if he's putting 1,000 a month and earning 400 out, he's getting 40% ROI. I'd take that. I'd be very happy. I don't think it's a problem. But at the end of the day, some people might be like, no, I need a 70% ROI. Some people might be like, no, I'm really happy with a 10% ROI wholesale model. This is the thing about this business. You can do it so many different ways. And you've got to find what works for you. If you're looking for really high volumes, high ROI items, you're probably going to be looking for new deals all the time. It's a very kind of rat racey thing, right? Got a product, get it in, get it sold. Everyone else is joining the listing. Oh my God, get out of there, find the next one. They do exist. There's a lot more work. If you're happy to take a lower ROI or maybe even lower sales but higher ROI, then you can replenish them a lot more, and that makes it a lot more simple. And you know what? In business, is a big thing that I always repeat myself 3 times a day in this call: KISS. Keep it simple. At the end of the day, we all have 24 hours in the day, and it's about trying to get as much value out of those 24 hours as you can. So if your client's spending $1,000, earning $300 to $400 a month from that $1,000 investment, I think hats off to him. Well done. He's obviously found something that's working, and I think that's great. Absolutely fantastic. And I think the you has got to be, again, keep it simple. That's it. What I'll say, guys, is it's nearly up on time. Drop me any questions you've got down below. Anything else before we finish up? If there's anything else I can help you with, or anything you're just like pondering, let me know. But if I kind of give you an update on my business just while we go now, quite simply, purchasing manager in the USA for this month. We're really looking to get that set up. That's going to be really supporting my purchasing in the USA. Why? If I can try and hit 250,000 sales this year, I'd be very, very happy. So that's what I want to get to. It's going to be a challenge. Also, as well, we've just broken the 30-day £200,000 barrier in the UK, absolutely smashing it. That's 2.4 million a year if that continues. Also, as well, we are going to do some strategic positioning in the UK around wholesale, just to learn about that, and also, as well, hopefully support our clients in understanding how that operates. And then also, as well, if you want to know, I'll have a purchasing manager in the UK, a purchasing manager in the USA. That's great. Currently, they report to me, but what I'm actually doing is going to get me out again. I'm going to have someone else who's going to report to them. So we're looking for a manager to sit between my businesses and then me, to support me in the day-to-day operations and taking the business forward. So I've got some interviews this week for that role as well. So I'm really excited about that. And if you listen to what I'm saying, what am I trying to say is I'm always trying to get me out of business. I appreciate I'm the biggest problem. I want to get me out of business. And what I want is I want freedom. I want the ability. I want my business to grow without me, because I understand I'm the biggest problem. So the more I can get me extracting me from the business, the more I can start working on the business and not in the business. And that's the value. That's the value that I can bring. So we have the money, we've got the revenue, we've got the collateral, we've got the debt, which is credit facilities. So just continuing to grow that. So that's what I'm really looking at doing over the next couple of months, or next month really. They should really be getting into position, trained up. So hopefully we'll have that person as well, and I'll have 2 great businesses scaling, someone else to run, so 2 businesses growing with a purchasing manager each running them, and also another manager overseeing it all, which allows me to jump into different parts of the business and really explore, but not have to do it on a day-to-day basis. So that's my important factor that I'm looking at. But hey, that's pretty much it. And we're going to finish up there. So what I will say, if anyone watching now, thank you so much for joining the live. Thank you for your questions. Thank you for obviously asking me. Really, really good. And hey, keep smashing the business. A couple of things that I think really take away from today. Number 1, manage your API score. That's really important. It's about your restock limits. Number 2 is just keep it simple. I'm a big believer in that. Any fool can make something complex, but it takes an intelligent person to keep it simple. And I think Einstein said that, and even Henry Ford said that as well. So that's pretty good. Also as well, there's 1,001 ways to slice the apple: wholesale, OA, private label, and how that works. So something really important there. And then also as well, I think the final thing is just take action. We talked about it earlier on with Tony. Oh no, actually, I think it was Tony. He was talking about still planning, creating a business plan, take massive action all the time. A lot of this stuff can be done in a week. Set a goal. Business plan is called spend all the money, learn, get it done. Iterate. I think it is there's something in war. It's all plans fail when you come in contact with the enemy. And the concept here is this: even if you write the best business plan in the world, when reality hits, it will change. So don't get too caught up on the business plan. Just take action and learn. And for me in my business, Sunday night is always a reflection. What have I learned last week? Cool. What are we going to do differently this week? And go on there. So I'm glad it's been useful. I'll do what Mac said. It's been a great session. I can't click on you. There we go. It was a good session. Fantastic. Thank you so much. But I will leave it there. Thank you very much for all of you guys watching. If there's anything else I can do, let me know in the comments. But hey, I will see you same time next week. Bye-bye.